The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're planning on buying or selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Look who else we have on the Real Estate House Party. We got the greatest legal real estate minds that I could. For this show, we needed everyone. We needed the 18 for the show.
With his smart glasses.
Oh, he got his glasses on. That's how you know he's thinking.
I like the look, Artie.
I wear it just to hide the bags under my eyes. People say, wow, you look younger. I say, yeah, I look more awake.
You look smarter, too.
Your eyes look bigger.
I'm going for the praying mantis look. You know.
What'd you say at my birthday party when they found out you found out my age? You said, I thought you were a lot younger.
I did. You did. You don't look it, but I thought you were.
You skew.
Oh, I thought he thought you were.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he said he goes.
I thought you were a lot older.
I can't believe I'm at Rick's 60th birthday party. I thought you were a lot older than that.
older than me. I thought he was older than me.
You got one coming up.
I do.
You do?
I
All
do.
right.
Oh, when is it?
May 2nd.
Oh.
Yeah, big one.
That's my nephew's birthday.
Nice. Good people born
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
So we got the A-team today.
Yeah.
We do.
Greatest.
We always have the A-team.
Yeah. Can I?
Oh, this is no special treat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Can we today focus on the housing market on the equator? It's April 10th.
Yep.
And I'm wearing
I
winter
know.
clothes.
Freezing.
I should be in shorts.
You
I know.
should.
This is wrong.
I
And
know.
you have shoes on.
I have shoes on.
Yeah.
I have long pants.
All our realtor friends are suicidal because we have no spring market yet. Usually
no
everything
spring,
kicks in.
right.
There's no spring yet. And
Your curb appeal's right out the window.
I know. The yards look
Yeah,
yucky.
yucky
Yeah.
and muddy
Yeah.
and stupid.
Broken branches, wires down.
I know.
All the
Ridiculous.
bodies start floating up to the
My
top.
fences are all knocked
That's not
The
good for
sand.
staging.
Yeah,
you don't
not
think that's good for staging?
No,
Curb-
Halloween maybe.
Oh.
Around Halloween,
Yeah.
it'd be perfect.
Yeah,
sure.
you'd be the host of the neighborhood. There.
Yeah,
But I think
sure.
today,
Yeah, what are we doing?
we're going to, because again, greatest legal minds I know
We're
of
ready.
are
Right.
sitting
We're
right
ready. You
here.
throw anything
We're
at
gonna
us,
bring
we're ready.
everything together
Sure.
today. Everything together.
Really?
So,
Thank God.
Yeah.
Everything. And I have a yeah, go ahead.
Could this be our last show? If we straighten everything out?
Tony, I think our last show was weeks ago. We keep coming back. Yeah, we're going to put everything together today. I think we've talked about financing. We've talked about our team. We have
You
to
gotta
put
get a
together.
team.
Got to get
Yep.
a team. We've
Right.
talked about buyer's remorse. Today, we're putting it all together because my daughter, Renee Carter, is thinking of buying a house.
Nice.
What?
So, yes.
Really?
Yes.
So did you give her this list?
No, but she doesn't listen to me, so I figure if we do it on the podcast, she can see the list
sure.
on
She
its
can
own.
say she heard the information
Right,
on the podcast.
exactly. No, she listens
No,
very good.
what'll happen is Ryan will listen to it.
Right.
And he'll tell her, and she'll listen to him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't think she
yeah.
listens to
She doesn't
Ryan.
listen to Ryan? Nah, yeah, I'm going to take that
She's
back.
her own person.
Yeah, I'm going to take that.
There's a lot of unique
Yeah.
channels in my household. How do we get communication going there? So, so she's starting to look.
One of my daughters is going to get a house.
Oh,
Nice.
so we're all going to be able to coach.
Well, as soon as she's done poisoning me, she'll probably, she comes over with these special brownies every day. I don't know.
Really?
Oh, she wants your house.
What kind of special
that
They're
brownies?
horrible. They make me so sick to my stomach that I'm pretty sure she wants me to die so she can have my house.
Well, she's going to have to kill off your wife,
So
too.
I keep borrowing against it, so she's in for a big shock.
This is a good time for a reverse mortgage.
Oh, my
true.
God.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
getting all the
take-
terms
Take
together
out
today.
all the equity in the
Yeah,
house. You could do it in one fell swoop.
Oh, yeah, I know. I can't wait to get to 62.
Yeah.
I'm taking all the equity out.
Yep.
See how much
You're
is
not
left.
62 yet?
No, stop it. Stop it.
He always lies about his age, Artie, so.
So do you have a will in place then if your daughter's thinking of taking you
no
out?
will.
No will?
What?
No will.
Oh, you
Should
need
I
to
put-
call.
I got my will is waiting on my desk to be signed.
Oh, good.
Been waiting for about 10 years.
Forward
Yeah,
it
exactly.
to Rick.
You
Right.
guys,
Forward it to
really?
Oh,
Rick somehow.
You don't even have a will.
Yeah.
You don't have a
yeah,
will.
No.
I guess the only person here, the smart person here, has a will is me.
Because I took care of that for you.
Right.
No, that's
I
a
did.
mistake, though, because I think I don't have anything to leave anybody, really.
Okay.
You got a house.
But it's in my name, but it's really the bank that owns it still.
Do you own your house has tenants by the entirety? So if you pass away, it goes to your wife?
Tenants by the half.
I think you own it correctly because I think we've done your refinances, and I know that
No, the kids get the house, but they have to sponsor an Armenian family to live with them.
They do.
You know, people have taken notes from this podcast, and they just wrote down tenants by the half.
By the half.
No such thing.
They're looking that up right now on how to own the house.
As they should.
As they should. So if you own it tenants by the entirety, if you pass away, it goes right to your wife anyway, right?
Right.
But if she passes away, I get to keep it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but then what happens next?
So if we both go,
right,
then my children get it.
Well, yeah.
All your blood,
but you got to go through all the probate
heirs
process.
get it.
I think you should just do a simple will.
So if you have any kids floating out there that nobody knows about,
do you have a lot of kids out there that you don't know about?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you know about all of them.
No, I've never had sex with anyone but my wife.
That's nice.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
This is a good case for murder-suicide, too, by the way.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Get you both out of the way. The kids move right in.
Yeah.
Has Artie Jr. thought of this?
No, don't put any ideas in his head.
Artie's the nicest person in the world. He would never think of that.
No, he would never.
He would never think of that.
Nobody wants to live where I live.
Really? How do you know?
But although they took forever to move out.
They did? How old were they?
The last one was 32 when he moved
really?
out. Yeah.
Oh God.
We've got no closings.
One moved out when she was 18. Love her the most. Never came back. The other one, she left to come back and then left again. And yeah, that was when she was around 26 or so.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hoping for that.
I got mine coming back. He's going to take my apartment downstairs.
So that's the same.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
living
there.
there.
He's going to live downstairs.
Well, at least he'll have his own living
back.
space.
He'll have his own door.
Right.
That's where that ends. Right.
Because he went so far away. Now he's back, huh?
Yeah, he was a whole
could
mile
actually
and a half.
he could probably walk home from
Yeah,
college now.
sure.
All right. We don't. We have no more Bill Rickett closings after Tony V took out that town at one of our.
Well, we've taken out many towns.
Yeah. So
Lynn.
Saugus.
Saugus is gone. Revere. Forget
Revere
New
gone.
Hampshire, the whole state, I
The
think,
whole
has been
entire
taken out.
Yeah,
So.
which is fine. No.
There's one street in North Reading we can still sell it.
No, not North Reading.
any-
Only Reading.
Reading.
The north part of
Let's-
Reading.
Let's not start that up again.
All right, let's do
All
the
right, go.
buyer due
Buyer
diligence.
due diligence.
Okay.
Don't you have 50?
I have
30.
the top 30. I guess
30.
I guess we should mention this. If we don't get through the whole list today,
Yeah, we'll do
maybe
that.
we should give our email address just in case we don't get through the whole.
Maybe. Or we could use it for our next show.
How about this?
Okay,
Start at 30
Yeah.
and work backwards.
Oh, really?
So then you go, oh, we got to 27.
That's a wicked good idea.
Everyone's listening to this podcast and say there's a reason they don't go through top 30. They're still in the intro, and it's been 10 minutes. So maybe we can stop backwards. That's
Yeah,
fine.
Tony's the idea guy.
He's
And
the idea guy.
He
Come up
keeps
with an
coming
idea.
up
He's
with
the
good
idea
ideas.
guy.
The thing is, I don't think that 1 and 30. I think we have to, aren't they in
Do
a
they
little
go
bit
in
of, a little bit of order,
Yeah,
right?
there's a little bit of order, but we're completely out
So
of
you're
order
saying
at this
that
point.
1 is more important than 30?
No, it just kind of leads you to the next
there's
question.
4 or
and
5,
lead-
Well, let's
exactly.
start then.
All
All right,
right,
let's
go
start. So we can recap some of our shows. We need.
Where
When
are
you
we
gotta
again?
go?
I got a phone call.
We were finally getting
No,
going.
I got someone calling
I know.
me.
Can you call them back
Jiu-jitsu.
later
I'll have
on?
to call
Tracy.
them back.
Call them back. All right, we're busy. Jeez. All right, so we've already talked about this. You
I
got
think they're confirming my hair appointment, so I got to excuse me, guys.
Come on, move it.
You have to have a team of professionals in place for that hair
That's
appointment.
number 5.
Very good.
Oh,
Artie.
for the hair
Oh,
appointment,
that's
you're
very
right.
good. So we've talked about that. You got to get your real estate agent.
Well, he's talking about my hair appointment.
Oh, you need a team for that.
Yeah.
Takes a village.
No, what did you say here? Did you stick to your original wish list for the house you
All right, so what
wanted?
happens a lot of time, it's a fast and furious market these days. Well, you know what? We keep saying that. A lot of times that's in our North Shore area. So down, South Shore
No, I
isn't
actually
quite.
think it's a crazy market.
It's a crazy market. So
anywhere
what's
you
happening
go.
is you got to have everything lined up beforehand. And what else is happening is sometimes people are going in thinking they're going to buy a $400,000 house. The house price gets up to $450,000, $460,000. So do you have a plan in place if all of a sudden the prices are a lot more than you're expecting?
Well, and the other thing is, if you put an offer in on a house and you wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, now you got a 3-bedroom, one bathroom house,
Right.
you got to make sure that you can live with that. So you have to
Right.
have your drop dead. I cannot live without a 2-car garage.
Right.
I cannot live without a basement. I cannot live without a master bath. Or like, do you know what I mean? And if you've paid $50,000 over asking price and you don't have everything you want, you might want to rethink that offer.
Right.
So if your budget is you're going to be buying a $400,000 house, I'm not sure if you can look at a $400,000 house. You could look at a $350,000
Well, and then
house.
if you end up buying it for $50,000 more than you wanted to, there goes your $50,000 for your renovations, for new flooring, or maybe putting a new bathroom in, or so you've taken out all your equity, your cash reserves, and you didn't get what you wanted.
Yeah, and let's keep this in the back of our heads, that if memory serves, if you drink enough, every room can become a bathroom.
Right. Just a little bucket from Home Depot, right?
That's all I'm saying.
I got the vision, Tony.
That's all I'm saying.
I have just one bathroom in my house.
Yeah, why limit yourself?
But
Tell
we
us
use
what
the
it was like when you were growing up when the kids were all growing up. Was it chaotic?
Well, no, you can use the outdoors from April through November.
Sure.
Artie and your
see?
son, right? You and your son.
Emergency off the deck.
Off the big deck.
And the girl,
Nothing like the dead of winter seeing a yellow icicle down the side of the house.
Do not eat yellow snow. That's another tip for me.
That's good. Put 31.
That's probably our only tip we've given so far today.
That's
So we're doing
31.
good.
Go ahead. Yeah.
31. All right. So to Kathy's point, so do you have a financial plan? Do you have a backup in place in case your original wish list is completely gone? You thought you were going to buy in that $400,000 house. Now you're up to $450,000. Do you have money in reserves? Have you worked all this out? You've thought about it.
So you don't start at $400,000 if that's what you're hoping to pay.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Because in this market, you are going to pay over asking price to get the house to win the bid, I guess.
Right. And we've talked about this before. I mean, a lot of first-time home buyers don't know what the maintenance costs, the taxes are. Renee has looked into this. Do you have a residential abatement at your house?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Boston's one of the biggest residential abatements in
My taxes
the
are crazy,
state.
so we get
a huge abatement,
a
right?
huge abatement for living there.
So this is one of the things, if we're talking about due diligence, you got to call the town hall for a bunch of reasons, right?
Yeah.
You got to find out what the tax is going to be.
We have a mass abatement.
Yeah. Oh.
you should. Everyone should
I
have
see
a
what you did there.
Yeah, you see what
I was just going to agree with you.
I almost had you.
You did.
Yeah.
All right.
1 second, Tony, you had me.
All right, so you got to call the town hall. You got to find out what the taxes are.
And ask for the mass abatement.
Yeah, the mass abatement guy.
They know exactly what you're talking about.
This is a shame because my daughter's watching the show and she's not going to get.
She
I
should know
think
these
so.
things.
Listen,
Listen, if she's grown up enough to buy a house,
all right,
she
should
should
hear these terms.
Understand the M word.
She should understand abatement.
But a lot of towns don't have abatements, so don't
right.
get your hopes up. City of Boston's one of them. Cambridge is another one. Some of the cities, right?
Yeah.
Charlestown, cities, yeah.
Yeah, it's a city.
All right, so you would call in the town hall. You got to find out if there's any.
If there's an abatement.
There's an abatement. You got to find out if there's any betterments that are owed on the property.
A what?
A betterment.
A betterment.
What's a betterment?
Well, if the town puts in like a sidewalk
Or a sewer.
or a sewer,
Town sewer.
they'll say we're going to do this for you, but you're going to end up paying.
It's going to
Right.
cost $20,000
Nothing's
over.
for free these days.
Right.
Sure,
So you got to make sure there's no betterments on the property.
And
You
if
gotta-
there are betterments, you have to negotiate with the seller whether you're going to absorb
If I was a
the betterment cost going forward, or if you're going to require the seller to pay it off at closing.
Right,
Because the
right.
world changes, and you got to keep up with it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I went. Did I ever tell you my story about parking on Newberry Street?
no.
Where I put a quarter in the meter. 'Cause I'm old school.
Yeah.
I get 4 minutes.
Yeah.
A quarter I put in a meter, and I get 4 minutes.
That's
There's
a-
nothing. There's nothing you can do in downtown Boston
For 4 minutes.
for 4 minutes except find another quarter.
Right, to put it in. That's
That's
right.
all you can do. And then it becomes this giant cycle of finding another quarter.
What's Tony
see
doing?
it.
He keeps putting money in
Right.
the
I
meter.
understand that it has a credit card slot, and that's what
But
they
you
want.
really wanted to put that
but
quarter
I wanted
in.
to put a quarter because that's how I park.
Right.
Go on.
Artie, why else would we call the town hall? Maybe find out if that building's in a historic
Yeah, to see if maybe a house is a historical site.
because that might be a
if
problem.
it's an
if you-
old house.
right.
You know?
because
And are those taxed for, or?
Well, yeah, you'll
Well,
save on taxes if it's registered.
but then you
I
can never
think.
make any improvements
Can't
without
change
there
anything.
without
You're putting
so.
siding on it.
So
or
I'd
anything
want to
like that.
find out if it's an historic district.
Well, and
No.
you know what else I've seen is scenic tax.
Oh yeah.
A scenic
scenic
tax.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you are
I
your
do that.
view
I
of
do
a
that.
mountain or a view of a something,
Yeah.
they call it a scenic tax, and it's a lot of money.
No, you're right.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're right.
So even if the tax rate in, I just say Falmouth was $15 per
Right, but it-
thousand,
right.
then they tack on the scenic tax
If you're looking at the water.
or whatever,
whatever.
a
They
They might have that in
lighthouse.
Rockport. I think they might have that in Rockport.
We got everything
My
in
sister's
Rockport.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Why
have
wouldn't you
everything.
just draw mountains on your window?
Because then they charge you the scenic tax
tax
for the
for the
mountain.
mountain.
What if
Yeah.
you are the scene, like in your window?
Right.
You know, you're like, hey.
Right, what if
and I
people
say,
just
wow,
put
what a
them-
scene
No,
in
I'm
that
sure you
house.
guys are the scene.
What a scene in that house.
What if people
You're
are
right.
coming to see you?
Here's
That's
the
what I
scene.
mean.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
This is the scenic house.
We know exactly
It's
who the
Artie's
scene
house.
This is
is.
scenic. Look at he's up in the window. What's he doing?
You know what you need is a meter out in front of your house for people can
quarters,
put a
yeah.
quarter in.
We don't
you
take
get 4
credit
minutes
cards.
to gawk at you.
It's
Right.
perfect.
Sure.
Flood insurance. You got to check in to see if you need flood insurance on the property.
Because
don't-
that's a
yeah.
deal breaker, and
Could be
we've
a
seen
deal
it
breaker.
happen because flood insurance is extremely expensive. So if it's, say, $3,000 a year divided by 12 months, Mr. Mathematician, whatever that is, that's added on to your monthly payment, and maybe you don't qualify with that added monthly payment.
So we're back to our original point. Before you even think of putting in an offer, you have to talk to your mortgage originator.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to find out, certain programs you can buy in certain towns where they give you these USDA programs, but you got to make sure some of the South Shore towns are in it.
Oh, like Marshfield and
Yeah,
places like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That have a
exactly.
history of flooding.
Yeah. Yeah, flooded to
Well,
You know.
yeah.
Well, sometimes you're not even near a body of water, but it depends on the elevation of the property
Right.
where it is. I mean, clearly, if you're on the ocean and you're lower than their minimum elevation, you're going to need flood insurance. But some of the lower elevations, even inland in town,
Yep.
if there might be a river a mile away from you or
that's
something.
still a floodplain.
Yeah. So
Well,
even
wouldn't
if you
that
say
show
there's
up
no
on a
water,
perk test, on those perk tests that they do for
well,
the water
it should
level?
show up on a plot
you-
plan.
If you do that, that's what we're saying. You have to do all this beforehand. You got to look
Right.
into this perk
Right.
test, and related to that is, and we've talked about this before. You might want to go on to Mass Land Records in Massachusetts. Each state has their own unique website for that. So I would suggest going on that so you can look into the property, see if there's not only the history of the house, but is there a shared driveway? Is there a
Private road agreement.
private road agreement? Is there a well that's shared with the neighbor? I would probably look into that.
Well, and the bottom line is we're halfway through our list, believe it or
I
not,
know.
guys.
That's unbelievable.
That's 15.
Do you have to shoot?
Is
Yeah,
that
pretty
due
much.
diligence?
Do you have
Did
to
we
shoot
do
out and
diligence?
We're doing bio due diligence.
feed the meter at all? You're good.
No, I'm
You're
good.
good. Okay, all
New
right.
Hampshire.
Oh,
No, we do this in New Hampshire. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're living free and
Live
not
free
dying.
and-
You can park anywhere and they don't.
But this is the thing. You can name all these things and tell the buyers that are listening, you got to do this, you got to do this, they're going to be very overwhelmed. So you probably want to call Carter Law Office, or I know that's a little self-serving, but or the attorney of your
Why do you think this
choice.
podcast exists?
So
to be self-serving.
Serving, right.
781-944-9222. You
Do we have an email address?
Yeah.
Give them
it's-
yours.
No.
All right, mine.
I only work part-time.
Give them the phone number at the hair salon. Where they're likely to find you.
Oh, I give her my cell phone. I will answer that. You can call Rick Carter at 781-944-7000. And he takes a call anytime.
Yes.
You know, Sunday nights, 9:30 are
I
his
do.
favorite.
I do.
But
Yep.
the point is that this is a lot for anyone to absorb
That's
in
a
a
ton,
30-minute podcast.
And I think we just scared everybody.
We just scared everyone.
But the thing is, we can do this very easily, or we can help you.
You're equipped to do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
so,
have a whole team of people.
So we can
we're learning there that the younger generation is buying houses almost online at this point. They see a house online, and they're ready to put in an offer. So the older generation says, back up. You still got to go there and look at the
Yeah, you
property.
drive around, go into
drive
open
around.
houses.
Right. Does the layout look good for you? Does the neighborhood look up for you? As the school system? There's a lot to it.
Religious services.
Religious
Yeah.
services.
Blind
Proximity to a
blind spots
church.
in the driveway.
Yeah. Little
What's
things.
that?
Yeah.
Blind spots
Yeah.
in the driveway in case you have to get rid of
You
something.
really critique the
that
house, don't
want
you?
people. Yeah. In case you have to get rid of something you don't want someone to see, you
Yeah.
got to know that there's a blind
Yeah.
spot where you can load your trunk.
Places in the backyard that in case you only
So
have one
Vito can
bathroom.
pull it.
Yeah, I know. Does this have anything to do with veto?
Could be.
I need to confirm or deny.
But the thing is, like, you don't have all the time in the world
Right.
as a buyer or a first-time buyer or any buyer for that matter. You don't have all the time in the world
Right,
to
right.
do all these things, get
Right.
it all done, because
Right.
once you put your offer in and you have your $500, they're looking for you to sign purchase and sale, and they're looking for the rest of your deposit monies, which is a substantial amount of money.
Right.
So
what would that normally be? What do you think?
10% or 20% or 5%, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Yep, yep.
what do they
It's
do?
negotiable. Yeah, but 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're buying a $500,000 house, it's
There's at least $25,000 you got to put down.
so if you write the check for $25,000, you better make sure that you've already done all your homework
Right.
because it is on the hook. It's a contract.
And our suggestions is to do the home inspection before you put down that extra 5%.
Because the home inspection is a deal breaker sometimes, right?
Exactly.
Because it comes back with stuff you need to know.
Exactly.
Well, right,
yeah.
a bad
Yep.
roof.
Yep.
And it's not a showstopper, but what if the seller doesn't want to fix the bad roof because
Right.
it's
And we've
priced?
had this before in your deal. You got to ask that home inspector what he actually does in the home inspection, believe it or not.
Yeah, mine was too old to go up on the roof.
Right.
So we have no.
It was on the bottom.
But I
The guy
felt,
drives by. It's a house. All right, I'm done here.
I
That'll
felt
be
rushed.
$450.
I felt rushed.
Yeah.
Like me in this
Sure.
business, I felt rushed. And I said to my husband, so how's the roof? He goes, I don't know. The guy didn't go up on the roof. He's too old. I said, all right, so we're buying it. We got a good price, so
Right.
we're
some
okay
wiggle
with
room.
that.
So
Yeah.
on your suggestion related to that, I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but when we're getting our real estate team together, you probably want to have your home inspector lined up.
Yeah.
Even before you see
Yeah.
a house.
Before you put any money
Before
down.
you put any money down, say, listen, I'm gonna have you do a home inspection over the weekend. What exactly am I
Right.
getting out of that home inspection? Do you test for radon? Do you test for well water? Do you test for the
And
the water
radon
line?
takes a couple days too, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's not like you can't do this in 24-hour period. Do you know what I mean? So you have to have everybody lined up, and then you can maybe get it done in
Or you could
24
just
to 48.
Or you can just bring a parakeet with you.
Yeah.
Put them in the basement. If they come back.
Canary.
A canary.
Not a parakeot.
Oh, is it? Oh, if it
Some
dies,
sort of a bird.
if it dies, it's.
Oh,
It's-
that's
Yeah.
How do you
pretty
know the
good.
bird
I
wasn't
like
going to die
that.
of old age anyway?
Right.
But you're
Well,
not
those
sure.
are the first,
Good point.
the first two questions you should ask of your home inspector. How old are you, and are you afraid of heights? That's the one thing you got to learn.
Yeah,
Right.
but you should put your attorney on alert too. Say,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking to put an offer in. Can you review my offer before I sign it? Before once it's accepted, right? Before
And
you
in each state, yes, exactly. And in each state, we should probably, like Massachusetts, there's a seller's description of property that tells you all the things. The seller's asked, do you have problems with this? Do you have problems with this? Problems with this? Massachusetts, that's optional. So if you're a buyer, you might want to say, I want to make sure the seller does give a seller's description of property.
Yeah, like
So-
was there water in the basement,
Right,
et cetera.
right.
And the other thing is you need to have your pre-approval letter to walk into any open house or to put an offer in on any house. You
Yeah,
need
so-
a pre-approval letter from your lender.
No, you're right. So you should probably recap. What do you think we should be asking that lender?
How much can I afford?
Exactly.
How much can I
Is my
afford to buy
credit
a
good?
house? Yeah.
Right, no matter what happened.
Yeah.
Right. right.
How deep am
Because
I
what
into
happens
this?
if I am overbidding? Now I'm getting that $425,000 house. I thought I was only getting a $400,000 house.
Well, that's a good point, though. If you're hooked up with a loan officer that knows that you're in the market for a house, they've given you a pre-approval for $350,000, but now you found a house that you're going to be paying $400,000 for. Call them up. They have on their laptop desktop underwriting. They punch in your numbers 5 minutes. They have an answer for you whether you can afford that $400,000 house.
And hopefully that originator's looked into your credit scores.
Right. Well, right. So even if you don't have
yeah.
a house yet, you should get your pre-approval letter
Because
in
you might
place.
need a little credit repair.
Yeah.
Look at Artie's. Your we're flying at this point, huh? We're
Yeah, no, it's
we're
good.
trying to get all these 30 in.
Listen, here's the bottom line. I don't buy cold cuts without, talking to you first.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't.
You usually have me
yeah.
accompany. You don't call me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
usually bring me along. Should I do
go,
this?
I go, how's that prosciutto look? You go,
And I just-
it's so fatty.
I wouldn't ask Rick
go-
about cold cuts. I don't think he's an expert on cold cuts.
I don't know.
But one time we had a customer or a client call us wanting us to review the purchase and sale agreement, or we were going to review, but they said Tony already looked at it and said it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, wow, okay.
Anybody you want to get rid of, you just send them my way.
No, that was one Mike Clark. He set
Yeah.
it up for me for.
Yeah, Mike
no,
did. Mike
I'm
ran it
good.
past
I'm
it.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
Tony
good.
looked at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all
Tony
right.
reviewed
I
it.
was going to have you take a
He
look
had
at it,
he had
but
a couple, changes.
Yeah.
Would you have some spelling issues? And,
Yeah.
But other than that,
Grammar, dangling participles and what have you.
taking participles.
don't you hate when that happens?
Don't you hate when they
boy.
dangle a participle?
Oh, boy. I mean, the participles, they're fine, but when
Excuse
they're dangling, you're
Your-
dangling.
Your participle seems to be dangling. Could you rectify that situation, please? I can't go on.
So I think another person that you need to have, most people forget about this, was your insurance agent.
No, it's a good point.
Because you can't just call up your current insurance agent and say, listen, I'm buying a house on property or whatever, new house. They have to do some work. They have like a 5-page questionnaire that takes some time to fill out. And
For,
right?
for new homeowners insurance?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
We've had this situation. I know we've said it before, but it's important. You got to call that insurance agent early. We had one guy who called the day before the closing, which a lot of people do.
It's something that everyone forgets
It's way
about.
down on the list,
Yeah.
but he had a dog that wasn't allowing him to get the insurance.
The dog?
A dog.
Well, it was
Wait, did the dog had some incriminating evidence against this guy? What do you have?
I don't know why we ever take Artie seriously, or Tony for that matter.
You guys are doing so well up to this point.
Listen, we were going to give you insurance, but then we had a word with your dog.
Yes. It wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't.
Well, you know,
wasn't the right breed, so he wasn't able to get insurance.
Listen, the dog has had trouble with me since that time I stuck his nose in it, and he's not letting it go.
He's a retriever. He keeps bringing back the murder weapon.
Oh, boy. All right, so get your insurance in place.
So you got to
too.
get your insurance in place.
Now, the insurance, you can roll that into your mortgage
Mortgage.
payment.
Yep.
So
yep.
that's something you have to, you got to figure that into your finances
And
anyway,
what,
right?
what typically are you paying for insurance as a percentage of the entire purchase sale of the house?
It depends
Or is
on the
it not
coverage.
incumbent
Depends on
that?
the city and the town.
Yeah,
and
and
how
the
much
cover and what you need for coverage.
Right. Whether you need flood
Flood or not, yeah.
insurance.
flood insurance.
Yep.
Right.
Whether
Dog-
you have jewels,
Jewels,
and
dog,
you
yeah.
know, important furniture and
Or if there's other attached
the
dwelling
endorsements.
attachments to the dwelling,
Yeah.
like garages and
Right.
things like that, and sheds and
Here's
like
another
that,
thing
right?
that pops up that's, because I see all these purchase and sales, and this has been hot lately, is whether all the permits that you did, all the work you did on your property, permits were pulled
Sure.
and then closed out.
They have to be, yeah.
They should close them out.
So there
because-
might be some
Yeah.
dangling participants right there.
yeah.
Right.
Perfect example.
Right, right.
I can see the name of the show
Yeah,
already.
dangling participle.
Dangling thoughts.
and
yes.
insurance. Right.
But you want to make sure all those are, because once you buy the property, that's
You inherit
you
those
own it.
problems.
You own it,
Right.
right? What other-
I can't
very
believe.
impressed.
We're down to like the last 6 or 7
It's great.
wow.
issues.
Due diligence, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have a few more? Should we
I got this
recap?
one.
All right, go
this
ahead.
one's an important one.
You're pretty good. Did you do all those notes yourself?
I did.
You didn't copy them from somebody?
Once again, I'm the only one without papers.
I offered.
So this is
you
the,
said
this is
no.
You're
this
a
is
wop.
the idea. Number it's number 23, but because we've been bouncing around. But if you were buying the property with another person, have you addressed the scenario that one of you might want to eventually get out of the ownership of the property someday?
So do you have some agreement in place?
Like,
Yeah, it's called divorce, right?
I would think like a lot of these people that come from other countries,
Yep.
wherever, Syria, India, or something like that, and one person, puts down the application, and then the father, the grandfather, the grandmother, everybody signs it.
No, it's a
because
good
they're
point.
all in it together.
Yep.
Right.
But
Yep.
eventually they want to get out.
Right.
Right.
Right. So
You
what's
know?
the mechanism for that? So you might want to have
know.
something in place, some
well, it's
sort of
like
agreement.
people that aren't married, they're just like boyfriend, girlfriend,
Right.
or two sisters, and then they have a huge fight about their mother. And do you know what I mean? And sometimes one isn't even in a position to buy out the other one.
You talking from experience with your mother?
No, I love my mother. Hi, Mom. No. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to keep the house, if someone wants to stay in the house, the other one's going to be forced to buy out.
Yeah, when I bought my house many, many years ago, I had a partner. You know what I mean? Just the guy who owned the house before me. I bought half an interest in the house because he needed the money and he was moving. So, and I stayed in the house. And at that point, our needs became different. It was my home and just an investment for him.
Right.
And then he wanted to get out, and the negotiations were difficult as all hell.
Of course.
Because, he thought I was, I wasn't offering him enough, and I thought I was offering him too much.
Right.
Did your wife know you had a partner?
Yes. This one.
Okay.
He knew about the house partner. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Does your wife know you have a house?
Depending on what time of the day it is. Yeah.
And so you had to give
So
him
then
a
I
certain
bought
amount of
him.
money?
Right. So then I had to take out
So
another
to
mortgage.
Kathy's
paid him
point,
off.
if you guys had agreed in the very beginning, this is how we're going to do it.
Right.
If you do want to get out,
Right.
we're going to come up with 3 appraisals. We'll do the average of that, and we're going to give you X amount of dollars.
But like some people aren't in a position to like maybe you could have been in a position where you couldn't buy out your partner.
Right.
And then you'd be forced to sell the
Sell the
property.
property
So
and
so
divvy it
it's a
up.
very
Right.
good
Wouldn't that
thing to
happen
think
like
about.
if say a parent dies, the last parent, and it's like the 4 children, and they inherit
Yes.
the estate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somebody would like to live there. Somebody needs
Yeah.
the money.
Right.
Right.
So,
That's why it's
So
important
that
in that
one
will.
sibling is going to have to come up with the money to pay off
The
other
other three.
3 siblings.
Can he use the house as equity to pay them off?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
but
could take out a
but what if
mortgage.
that one sibling doesn't have good credit and can't get a
Right,
mortgage,
see.
or like
No,
so? There's a
that's-
whole bunch of
yeah.
different
These all
variables.
have to be spelled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. You could do a gift of equity. It goes to the 4 kids, that $400,000 house, and one kid wants to keep it. He says, all right, let's refinance it. I'll do it for $300,000. You guys give me a gift of equity because I'm getting $100,000 out of it. We'll just give you guys the $300,000.
Isn't there big taxes on that gift of equity?
Very
You
interesting.
need to contact your tax accountant.
We
for
all
that.
have, yes, do that.
That's
I
our-
do have the answer for you, but we all get allowed X amount of gift we're able to give over the years. And call your tax accountant. You might be able to have it.
Spread it out
Yes.
over installments.
Yeah.
Of
You
like
get X amount.
$30,000 a year or
Yeah.
something.
So she'll look into that. But
I hate being a grown-up.
I know.
I
There's
do
so
too.
much
This
stuff.
is awful.
Especially
No.
a grown-up that has to
confusing.
buy
Buy
a
a
house.
I
no,
wish I-
it's the point there. It's the good point. You should have it all. It's almost like a closing. Everyone's so agreeable to it. It's almost like, you ever hear of drunk muscles?
No.
The
What's
more
that?
the more you drink, you think the tougher
yeah.
you think you
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So this is what we see
I
in a
would
lot.
We
get
call that
weaker.
something else.
I would get weaker.
So it's almost
my
like in a
drunken
situation like this.
Flaccid. I'm drunk and flaccid. That's me.
So in this case, everyone's in agreement. Yeah, we're buying a house together. Everything's going to be fine. And then down the road, all of a sudden, they get this
Well,
empowerment. So
It's like a divorce, right? So
Yep.
we had a wife call us and say, oh, yeah, I'm kicking my husband out. I'm just going to buy out his interest. Call our banker friend, and he ran our credit, and he called me up, and he couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
like, she's not doing anything of the
Anything
sort.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Those-
Why you need a good lot team so you
Yeah.
think. I mean, here's the other thing too. I don't know how it is in your families, but everyone in my family thinks they're the smartest one in the family.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh no, I did this and I can. So this is what we. You go, no,
Right.
we're all adults. This
Right.
is, you know.
Right.
this
Right.
is,
With different opinions.
With different opinions and different needs.
Right.
Right.
Everybody has
Yeah.
a different
And
end
yes,
game.
Yes.
Right. Some people have kids
Yes.
in college. Some people have
Yes.
no kids. Some
Sure,
people,
this is why a very fortuitous fire can help you out. Where the
Call
decision-
Vito.
Where the
Vito involved again.
This is where the blind spot. It all comes
Stay
back.
out of it, Tony. Just let
Alright,
Vito
Tom.
handle
This
it.
is where the blind spot comes in. Vito can handle
So
it.
you're telling our listeners if there's a problem.
Call
I'm
Vito.
not telling our listeners
Well,
anything.
speaking of like Vito and people of
Yeah.
that sort,
Yeah.
that I seem to know quite a few.
Yeah.
They choose not to even own houses.
No.
They don't
'cause
even
they
own
can't.
houses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because of the felonious record probably, but also
their
don't
money is
want to
buried.
be tied to anything. It's almost
right.
like that
They don't want
movie
any
Heat
record.
with Robert De Niro.
Right,
It's like
right.
you're going to be able to just leave
Leave
in
it.
15
Right,
seconds.
right.
Yep.
Pick
From
up your
the-
bag of
and
money
go.
and go.
Yeah.
You
Right,
know?
right.
Whitey Bulger never owned a house.
No,
Right.
of course
And
not.
look what happened. He had a nice
Yeah,
life.
very
for
nice.
now.
You know?
For then,
It's just-
not
he
now.
didn't worry
Now he-
about, I got to get flood insurance. And,
Well, I got to call my originator to see what my credit score is.
And now he's in a nice retirement facility.
you know?
He's
So it
getting
all
3
worked
good
out
meals
for
a
him.
day.
Yeah,
all
3
worked out
square
for him.
meals of mush a
It's
day.
a 55 and over development.
One orange suit. He's all
Yeah.
set.
Someone does his laundry for him.
Doesn't have to worry about shoes. Nothing.
He didn't have to leave his house. The kids fighting over it.
All right, so
What,
are we?
what should we do? Should we recap all this madness or what?
But hold on.
Oh, you got a couple more?
Well, just a
Okay.
few so that we can say we got all 30. You got to check the
She
local.
definitely doesn't want to do another show with us, I think. I think this is it for
This
her.
is like her retirement.
What
I
do
don't
we got
want to
for
see
time?
these 3 guys ever
We've
again.
never got to 30 or anything.
Yes, we
know.
did. Yes, we did.
All right, do your last few then.
Have
We're
you
almost
checked
there.
the local sex offender list? If you have
Yeah.
kids in the
There
school
we go.
system,
Oh, hey.
Hey, let's bring
Why
that
are you-
up
why
again.
are you staring at
Yeah,
Tony
don't
when
worry.
you're
No,
what's
I'm
up with
just-
that? No, you're right. You should call
Yeah.
the police department.
make sure that you're not moving into the.
And there's different levels,
Right,
too. I mean,
right.
some guy that just...
I don't
right.
really
No, you're
care
right.
what the
Some
level
guy grabs
is.
somebody's boob is different than somebody, with little
And
kids
Right.
we're
or
not
something.
we're
Nah,
not
it's really
saying
not different.
we're not saying that's right.
No,
Right.
no, we're not advocating
Right,
it at all.
right,
No,
right.
but the police
exactly.
have that all on
They
record.
have the information.
Right,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
seriously.
No, this is a great point
You should
because
check,
when you're
yeah.
about to, you should think of buying a house that you're eventually going to sell.
Right.
So if there's sex offenders in that neighborhood, I think that might cramp your style in selling. So go ahead.
Right. So I actually think that we have covered everything. The one last thing.
One
One last thing is
always
if
the way.
you are planning on putting an addition on the back
Yes.
or on the side or putting
Yes.
a 2-car garage that you didn't get when you bought the house, you need to make sure if your heart is set on it, you need to call the building inspector and see if you what you need to do to get permits. Can you even do that?
Right.
Good point.
I did that to put a porch in the front of my house. And,
Yeah.
Did you pull permits
I pulled a permit.
Oh,
No,
nice.
actually,
or did you just do it?
Call Vito.
no. I started doing it. And
Yeah.
Because
This
it
doesn't
was
sound like
part
it's
of the
gonna end well.
original structure of the house. But when I bought it, there was no front porch.
Okay.
But back in the 1863,
It had
there
a
was a
porch.
front porch.
Oh, so
wrapped
you were
around the
just you
house.
just could put it on the footsteps, the footprints?
Yeah, well, yeah, I knocked on the stairs, and so, but halfway through, one of the neighbors complained that I
Yeah, of
didn't pull a
course.
permit, and so it was tied up for like 9 months.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
every neighbor, even if you like your
It's like,
neighbors,
what?
they'll all call.
Yeah.
They'll all call on
Wait
you.
a second. What's the end game there? What did the
I don't know.
disturb?
I don't know.
Busybodies.
Yeah, it's just
So
like,
you
how
s-
come they're doing that? Oh, they're improving their house. People are jealous. People, it's
Right,
ridiculous.
Yeah, that is
insane.
crazy.
It is. It
So
is.
to everyone's point, probably make sure you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you do decide you can do it with town, make sure you pull the permits.
I have to pull a permit to replace my front picture window.
Really?
It needs a
Oh,
town
yeah.
permit for
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Wow.
yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an existing window,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to replace it with
Yep.
a replacement
Yep.
window, and I still have to pull a town
Wow.
permit.
And so any buyers of your house would want to make sure that was closed out because then the town goes in and make sure you do it right, and then they close out that permit.
I hate people.
It's unbelievable.
know.
People,
I know.
They're looking,
People-
oh, what
people
are they
ruin
doing over
everything.
there? They look at you and say, oh, what's he putting on a deck? That jerk.
Sure.
A big deck?
Yeah.
Hey, how
You
come-
put in a big deck?
How come the Januarios have a porch and we
How
don't?
come
Yeah.
Artie has a
Deck in the
small?
rear.
Deck in the
How come
rear.
Artie has a small deck in the front?
You know? Jeez. He was born
Tony-
that
Wife's
way.
been complaining about that
Tony has
for
a
years.
big deck in the
I
rear,
do
and
got a
why
big
didn't
deck
I
in
want
the rear.
one?
And Artie's got a small deck in the front.
That's
Jeez,
no
his
good.
wife is very upset by this.
So anyway,
I hear music.
buyers
I hear
due
music.
diligence. We're getting shut off.
We're getting shut
Call
off.
Carter Law.
Yep.
The lights are flicking.
Give
and
us a call.
Thank you, everyone in the studio audience today. We really appreciate all your support. And thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Greatest legal minds of this generation. Tony
Right
V, Paralegal Extraordinaire, Kathy Holtshouser, Artie Januario,
I
and Mrs.
learned
Rick
so much
Carter.
today.
Thank you
Woo!
for joining us. We'll see you next week.
That was exhausting.
Woo!
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.